You're listening to Zap Night, a video game review podcast, with your hosts, Danny and Kaylie. Hey guys, thanks for downloading Zap Night. I'm your host, Danny.
And I'm your co-host, Kaylie.
And today we are episode 3
for Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country.
For the Super Nintendo.
So first off, we're reviewing Donkey Kong Country instead of Final Fantasy. And that's because Final Fantasy for the Nintendo is very, very, very slow. We originally allowed 2 months to play it. However,
1 month.
No, 2 months, because we originally wanted to play Final Fantasy 1 alongside Spyro.
Oh, right.
But we kind of exclusively played Spyro. Then we only had a 1 month to play Final Fantasy, and 1 month is not enough. So we're giving it another month, and we got together and played Donkey Kong Country in its entirety. And you can watch all the gameplay footage on our
Twitch.
Well, yeah, it's on Twitch for now, but only for the next couple weeks. So it should be on our YouTube channel, and you can see pretty much everything that we do at zapnight.com. And you can scroll around and find our Twitch feed. You can find our YouTube. You can find our Facebook and all that good stuff. So anyway, right now, for me, I just finished the Earth Cave and turned on the Earth Crystal, and I made it to the entrance of the Fire Cave. Where are you at?
I'm like, I haven't even gone through a cave yet.
Have you done the Marsh Cave yet?
No, I went to the elf village thing, and then I saved.
So you're right before the Marsh Cave.
So, to be fair, though, by the time I get to where you are, you'll still have only been, you'll just have leveled up once.
I actually picked up the PSP version of Final Fantasy, because I own that version as well. And I played for about 45 minutes, and I was able to get about halfway to the point where I'm at currently in the Nintendo version. And that's because I can basically hold down the X button, and I can fight all these enemies, and it's significantly shorter. I made it to level 5 in that 45 minutes, and I made it to the Marsh Cave. I didn't actually go in the Marsh Cave, but I made it there. And it's unbelievable how slow the Nintendo game is. But with that said, I'm still playing the Nintendo version because I've started it. I want to just finish it. So I'm going to have to major grind in Final Fantasy to beat this thing before October 1st.
We're going to push it back another month.
No, we're not. No, we are not. I'm finishing this. And I was talking to Lori about it too. If I have to, I will catch up with the PSP version and just finish with the PSP version if it gets down to crunch time, because I know the PSP version I'm
gonna come to work one day and you're like, I haven't slept in 3 days.
I know. We have Monday off coming up here for what?
That's right, Labor Day. Yep.
So maybe I'll play a little bit. I really don't want to spend all Labor Day doing that. My wife would kill me, but. Yeah, I don't know. I really need to...
the alternative for me is sleeping all day.
I really need to dedicate as much time as I possibly can to get this game finished.
But we digress.
Yes.
Donkey Kong.
So anyway, yes, Donkey Kong Country. So we played all the way through, and it went fairly well. We actually got it recorded this time.
Yeah, this time that
was the plus. So anyway, Donkey Kong Country is developed by Rare, and Rare is...
Rare.
I don't know if they're the owners, the developers, or whatever from Rare are still making video games. Right now they're doing Ukulele for, they did a Kickstarter for that. I'm sure most people have heard of Ukulele by now.
Do you like the ukulele, Danny?
But in any case, Rare, they did Banjo-Kazooie as well. So, I mean, they're out there. It was originally for the Super Nintendo, however, they did end up porting it out to the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance.
Did you play any of those?
I played the Game Boy Color one, and it was
terrible.
Awful. Yes, it was so bad. I haven't played the Game Boy Advance one. I might have it, but I haven't played it.
The one for the Game Boy one, whichever one we had, wasn't it super glitchy too?
It was just not very responsive. You would jump, and it would take a fraction of a second.
They did as minimal as work as possible.
It was like a direct port, and it just wasn't carried over very well.
They hit enter, and it was like, well, good enough.
It really was. It was very lazy.
So this originally was called Super Donkey Kong in Japan. I did not know that.
Yeah, it was. And, the artwork for Super Donkey Kong is kind of cute. Like,
really?
He just looks a little bit different than he does in the original artwork for it. So the gameplay or the story doesn't have a whole lot to it, as most platformers don't. But it does have more story in it than I think Mario does.
I didn't even know it had a story, to be honest with you, until today. And I'm looking over our notes. I'm like, wait a minute.
There was a story? Yeah, so the story, and I actually have the original booklet for this game. And the booklet has the story in it. And they kind of describe how Donkey Kong lives on this Donkey Kong island, and he meets up with his nephew, Diddy Kong.
I didn't know it was his nephew either. Well, I thought they were just friends.
Well, and how is it that Diddy Kong is his... How are they related in any way? Diddy is a monkey, Donkey Kong is a gorilla. They're not even the same species, but yet somehow they're related.
What would be more acceptable as cousins?
Yeah, exactly. I thought the same thing. So, in any case, they have a banana horde. And this banana horde gets stolen, and they're trying to figure out who stole the bananas, and they find out that it's this King K. Rool. So they kind of go after this King K. Rool and his Kremlings.
Is it supposed to be King Cruel? Is that what that's supposed to be?
Probably.
I was just wondering.
That makes sense. King Cruel.
And his Kremlings. You don't feed those after midnight.
I know that it's very similar.
Also, what would you call the
They're
little
his
sidekicks?
Friends. His friends.
So he's got a rhino, an ostrich, a swordfish, a frog, and a parrot. And they all have names, which we were looking up when we were playing this. And
yes, and they're pretty great.
Oh my gosh. So there's Rambi the rhino, Espresso the ostrich, and Guard the swordfish, Winky the frog, which is my personal favorite, and Squawks the parrot.
Yeah, it's pretty
Winky
good.
The frog. That is... And by the way, when Winky, his little, like, frog throat pouch goes... It sounds like a rubber band being stretched out or something.
It does. And also, along with his, like, companions within the game, he also has Funky Kong and Candy Kong and Cranky Kong. And they're all...
Kongs.
Yeah, they're all gorillas, but they help with different aspects of the game. Cranky Kong just
gives advice.
Yeah, I think in the booklet he's put as comedic humor or comedic relief or whatever. And he's kind of funny, but really I just skipped over his levels. There's no point in listening to him.
I think he gives some advice for like the boss, but
I think so.
But the more functioning, of course, is Candy Kong, who saves.
Right.
And
Funky Kong, who lets you fly between the worlds.
And a plain barrel.
Plain barrel, yes. A plarrel. Whatever.
Wow, there.
But what's funny is unless you have the booklet, there's no actual story in the game itself. Like, there's no dialogue to what the story is about.
Okay, so... I guess we're gonna just dive right into this. I gave this initially a neutral 5 out of 10 because the story really wasn't anything. But I feel like that you get more story out of this than, say, like Mario. You have Cranky Kong who kind of explains it, and like it just.
The story kind of tells itself as you're going through. Like the very first level, he comes out of his home. And you realize that, you have the cave underneath, which is very obvious. And if you haven't ever played it before, that cave is like, hey, go in here. So you go and investigate the cave, and you realize that there's no bananas there. So that's where you notice that there's bananas strung all over the place, and you can collect bananas. And then, you have the boss fights within the banana hives, is what I like to call them, because they're like big banana-like mountains. And you're fighting within the banana mountain. So, I mean, you kind of get the sense of you're collecting bananas, and,
Bananas.
these bosses have stolen the bananas.
Do you like bananas?
I love bananas.
I like banana pudding.
I am okay about banana pudding. I like banana bread.
Ooh, I know what I'm eating after. In any case, I'm hungry.
So I gave it a 6 out of 10.
And I just gave it a 5.5.
I gave it a 6, a little bit better, just because it does have a story, but it's not very high up there because it's not really necessary, as most platformers are. It's really just like, hey, this is why you're doing what you're doing, but it's really not that necessary. It would have gotten a little bit better of a rating if there was some sort of story inclusion in the game itself, aside from just the booklet. And the booklet actually has like a full story. It's really a cute little thing.
And all the pictures and stuff, they put a lot of work into that booklet we just throw aside.
The booklet that just gets thrown away. My book is in pretty good shape. I'm proud of this thing. Graphic-wise, this is a beautiful game. Yeah. This is so pretty. It's probably, I dare say, it's probably the best Super Nintendo game graphically that they've made. At least mainstream Super Nintendo game. It's very 3D rendered. It's very detailed. I'm sure it just has pre-rendered backgrounds, but everything is really well done. There's like lighting effects to it. There's awesome storms and the rain and the snow. It's really just a cool looking game. The only downside I gave it was that the characters looked very, very shiny. They looked like everyone was oiled up.
Oh no, I'll be able to play this game the same now that I know that.
Now that they're oily.
Oh
no,
my gosh.
But I mean, that shininess I think is really just an after effect of what they were trying to accomplish with the lighting, and I didn't dock it at all. I mean, this was a full 10 out of 10 for graphics for me, yeah.
I gave it a 7.
Really? A 7?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a level where the lights go out, and I feel like that there could have been more to that. I feel like if you took the background out, it's like there was just nothing. I don't know. I felt like the background was too tied into it, but then I also thought that some of the levels it was like dark mostly, so there really wasn't. I guess I was just looking for more.
Very dark.
I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah, and the one. What were we playing? What level was that?
It was towards the end. That was
bad.
It was one of the on-off barrel.
We thought it was
levels.
The TV at first.
Yeah, it was meant to be a very dark level, but it made it so frustrating because you had no idea where you were going. And I realized that was part of what they were intending for that level, but it was a little bit over the top.
Although you seemed to get it once you got up and moved to the side.
Yeah, I moved to the side, and I think it helped because the TV has a natural brightness change when you move, out of the normal. I think you might have
had a glare too from like a window.
That could have been. I don't know, but it was kind of tough to see that one in particular level. But overall, all the levels were very unique and very well mapped, and the sprites were very cool and very clean. Even on our 50-inch TV, and it still looked really nice good. And clean on the TV. So I mean, there really was no lack of detail here. I was very impressed with it. So let's go ahead and move on to gameplay. The gameplay was very standard for a platformer. It did have really good level design, and it made the game just flow easier.
I thought the controls were really good.
You really did feel like you were in control of the characters. Yeah, that's true.
Especially when you're using Diddy for rolling, like that. It gave that extra.
Not very realistic, being able to jump midair, but whatever.
Or my personal favorite is when you lose because you have two characters that you play with. And if you have both of them, if you are attacked by someone, like mid-air, that character goes away, and so you start with your second character, and you can jump from where you were attacked. So if you jump in mid-air, lose your character, you can jump again.
Yeah.
Which was, I don't know. I guess it's nice for us, but I don't know. I'm grasping at straws.
What I want to know is where the characters go. Where, like, if Diddy gets attacked and he gets hit, he runs off screen, but where does he go? It's like, where does he run into a barrel because he's scared, or what's the deal?
Someone grabs him and shoves him in a barrel
and scatters the barrel throughout the world. There's a ton of hidden levels in this game, and that's part of where the percentage comes into play. If you play this game all the way through, and you can play every single level, you have to play every level.
Well, we played every single level.
Well, you have to. You can't skip any levels. And when you do that, you still don't get 100% when you beat the game. That's because they want you to go back and re-explore these levels to find the bonuses and all the hidden areas. So with that, I think we only managed to get, 63% or something like that?
It wasn't much.
So...
and which was funny because we kept getting closer to the end, and I'm like, 50%? Like, that doesn't seem right. We're almost at the end.
Yeah, and when you finish the game, at the very end, Cranky Kong comes out, and he's like, hey, if you want to, in my day, I would have found all the bonus levels.
With only one life.
They're trying to hint at,
There's
go
more,
play it again, and really explore each level individually, not just to beat it.
What was your favorite level?
Oh, my favorite level.
I already know what your favorite level is. I don't know why you're thinking about it.
I really like the first minecart level. That's my favorite.
What's your least favorite?
The first snow world.
The first one, yeah, that one's...
Mostly because it's so hard to see, and it's the, barrel-to-barrel shooting, and normally that's not a big deal, except some of them towards the end of that level, it goes really, really fast. And it's so difficult.
Thankfully, though, which, I remember us knowing a lot of the secrets in the snow level, but apparently we forgot because we had someone come in on Twitch.
I knew that there was one there, and I couldn't figure out where exactly it was.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We knew all of these secrets, but we didn't know where they were. But thankfully, someone in the comments on Twitch was kind enough to be like, hey.
They looked it up for us. I was on the verge of looking it up anyway, so it didn't really matter.
That did help.
But...
Which is nice because it's a nice little help in the game. Because, sometimes even when we were shooting through the barrels, we were given a second chance by a barrel sending us back.
Yeah, there was a couple of those worlds where you're going from barrel to barrel, and if you miss it, they kind of have some forgive to it where... if you go straight down, it actually shoots you into a hidden barrel bonus. That shoots you back up to the beginning again, so you can try again. So, yeah, it was pretty nice in that aspect. And, again, that goes back to the level design. I mean, the people who developed this game were really, really smart in how they laid everything out and giving little hints at... hey, there's one banana sitting here in the corner. There's a reason behind that. Where's the secret? So, I mean, it's really well designed, and, you get that replayability to try and find 100%.
What did you think about the Donky King using Donkey Kong?
Donkey Kong sucks.
We complained about this the entire time.
His biggest flaw is that he can't jump as high. And that really hinders your gameplay when you're trying to jump around.
He's bulkier. He doesn't do the cart roll. The only real good thing about Donkey Kong, in my opinion, is that he does the hand slap on the ground to get bananas.
Ground pound, I guess you could call it.
And then he's just big enough to get those bigger enemies, where Diddy kind of is just pushed back a little bit.
I really think that Donkey Kong is purposely slower, and I think that he has a float to him when you jump. I think that his arms going up in the air is kind of this movement. It slows him down a little bit so you can have more time to think about what you're doing mid-jump. And
I guess
it helps, but Diddy is so much faster and jumps so much higher that it's really irrelevant.
I guess they're trying to make it more varied by you needing to use certain characters over the other. And
yeah, and I do
just
see where they're going,
adds-
because like Diddy can't attack those real big guys where Donkey Kong can, and you know that's pretty much the only thing. To be honest, Diddy's cartwheel is so much better than Donkey Kong's roll.
And it's fast.
It is fast. It's super fast, and
Just
it
cartwheel
goes
through the
farther.
game.
So if you're trying to do the roll into a jump, like we were explaining earlier, where it's almost a double jump, where you like cartwheel off of a tree, and then you're basically going off of the platform, but then you can jump at the end of the cartwheel, and it adds the extra distance to it. So you know, it's almost double jump, but you're not jumping
Right.
first. You're kind of rolling and falling first, and then you get an extra jump at it. And they play on that a lot with where bananas are placed and where the Kong letters are placed.
So you think that the bosses are easy?
The bosses are way too easy in this game. They are. And, you know, I think the only one we really had a problem with was the very last regular boss.
And that's
the
just
purple.
because once you got to know how to do it, it was fine. But it was getting to know it in that last bit, which was the hardest. Oh, you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the purple.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about the very last.
No, the
boss.
purple bird was.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
The hardest of the regular bosses. The final boss was more challenging, but that's to be expected. I think we spent a good solid hour trying to beat the final boss.
Yeah, it was.
Which is
sad.
Again, it's
it was the
expected.
final boss. Yeah,
there's a learning curve to it. You know, you got to figure out exactly how to dodge the cannonballs that are coming. You got to know, how he throws his crown, how to dodge his jumps, how to, it wasn't
how to play
until
a video game.
It was like I was sitting there watching it, and I was watching Kaylie play, and I thought, there's just enough time in there to be able to run back and have him jump over you. And once I figured that out, then I beat him right away. The next time I played, I beat him right away. So it's, there's that learning curve to it, and once you get it, it's cool. You can beat it really quick, but it's the challenge is in that learning curve.
If you hadn't have seen that, I think we would have been there for another 2 hours trying to beat him the other way.
Trying to jump over him, yeah I know.
That was sad. So,
but otherwise, graphics, I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Oh, I gave it.
Or no, I'm sorry, that's gameplay. Gameplay, I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it a 7.
A 7. That's fair. The gameplay could have been a little better, maybe in that platforms would have been a little bit more defined.
There was just some things, even like the different animals, like the control over them was just a little meh.
Yeah, and there were
a little
times
awkward, I think is really what I'm looking for.
There were times that I would do like a cartwheel, and Diddy would just roll all over the place.
Yeah.
And there were times when you would jump to land a platform, and he would land the platform, but then slide off the edge. It was really weird.
Well, I think that you're probably thinking of the snow level, and I think
I'm not.
Oh, really?
No, this is regular, because you would think that the snow level, it's slippery. That makes sense. But no, this is regular levels, and you would land on the right on the edge, and the edge would be curved, so he would slide off the edge and not make the jump.
I was thinking while we're talking about this, I was thinking that the glitch level on this is very minimal. We've had a couple glitches here and there.
That's true, yeah.
There really was not too many where we got stuck.
For the Super Nintendo typically is kind of glitchy, and I think the only glitches we really ran into were enemies just kind of randomly popping in and out of frame.
Yeah.
But I think that was just after we played for the first 5 hours, and then it started to kind of get glitchy. And I think that it's just all the data that it's loaded throughout the entire gameplay.
Even with that, it was very minimal.
Yeah, it was. Compared to some of the other Super Nintendo games where you're glitching through the floors, or you're just dying for no reason or whatever. So no, it was very, very low on the glitchiness. So let's move on to music. What
I
did you
gave it
think
a
about the
9.
music? A 9? I gave it a full 10.
Woo!
Again. I love this music.
He loves this game.
I do. I really do. I actually have the soundtrack for this game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, it's an orchestrated version of it. But yeah, I do have it, and it's really, really cool. The final boss, the the King Cruel, his
his little pirate.
Yeah, that song is amazing orchestrated. The guys who orchestrated that music is really they did a really good job. Yeah, I'll have to give it to you. It's pretty good. Good stuff.
I liked the music because the music for the levels was just perfect.
It was very
very
good.
Well.
It set the mood for each level, and each level was. I can't say that they really repeated any songs. Can you?
I mean, maybe for like the caves and the
I guess you're right. Yeah, the caves are the same.
I mean,
like
the types,
the cartwheel,
the types of levels you're doing, so like the carts and like that. But I mean, again, you have repetitive levels, but they're kind of spread out through these different worlds, if you will.
They really are.
And I mean, they're really good anyway. So it really gets you into this level. You're like, all right, I'm ready. Let's go.
You know, when I converted our gameplay to YouTube, I actually got a copyright flag for the ambiance. I think it's called like ambiance or something like that. It's the underwater world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the only song that it flagged, which is fine. I'm still able to upload it. You have to watch an ad to play the video, which isn't that big of a deal. But yeah, that's the only song, which I thought was really funny. It must just be the most popular song.
Which
it really is a really good song.
Yeah. I think through every time you're like, man, I love this music.
Yeah, it's so cool.
While we were swimming in green Kool-Aid.
and avoiding tires.
To be fair, we have those in our rivers.
The only downfall I gave this for music was that it makes me want to hum every single song.
Boo-hoo.
And I don't think anybody wants to listen to that.
That's
a good thing.
If it's music that you want to hum,
it was just a joke. I had to give it some downfall, right?
Well, I gave it a 9 out of 10.
I gave it a 10, solid 10. And I'm proud of it. It's a
proud 10.
I'm proud of the score that I'm giving it.
He wrote the 10 down and put a smiley face in it.
I didn't. Our overall ranking for the game, it's great for all ages, like most Nintendo games are. The difficulty progression is really good. Obviously, it starts out fairly easy and as you move on the levels, as you get a little more skilled with the controls, they throw more stuff at you to make it more difficult.
Although I don't think little me would have been able to have beaten this by myself.
The snow level is very difficult.
Oh yeah, we got stuck on that as kids.
When we were kids, yeah, we would spend hours and days. I was telling Kaylie during the Twitch stream that when I was a kid, I actually drew out and mapped out the entire level to that first snow world, or the snow level, just so that I could learn it and learn how to beat it.
Because you had nothing better to do at school but to draw out a Donkey Kong level and study it. You weren't studying your studies, you were studying a video game level. I applaud you.
As you should.
I am so proud of you. You've grown up to be everything I wanted you to be.
That's why I'm a C student, Kaylie. But you know what? I graduated high school.
He's a 63% student, much like our level.
I graduated high school and I beat Donkey Kong Country. That is my goal in life.
His crowning achievements. I gave this a 9 out of 10 overall.
I did too, a 9 out of 10. Again, it's overall it's a great game. Probably the only downfall that I can see is that it's for Super Nintendo.
And that one dark level.
It's annoying.
That was really annoying.
I think you can get it on the WiiWare or the Wii U, channels. So it's not completely... You probably can even get it on the 3DS download now,
or if you want a real challenge, go get the Game Boy one.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can beat the Game Boy one, I want to hear about your story.
Let's sit down and talk.
Yes, I want to have an interview with you. Let's recap real quick. Story, 6 out of 10 for me.
5.5.
Graphics,
7 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Oh yeah, graphics are awesome. Gameplay,
7 out of 10.
8 out of 10 for me. Music
is a 9 out of 10.
I got a 10 out of 10.
And overall,
9 out of 10.
And 9 out of 10.
So for me, that's a total of 43 points.
I'm at 37.5.
And that puts us at 80.5, which is a B minus. Which again, it deserves
as
better.
a C student, a B minus is a good spot to be in.
Oh, whatever. No, I think it really comes down to story. I mean, if the only game like Super Nintendo game that I could see getting an amazing high score would be like Final Fantasy VI or maybe Sword of Mana or whatever. I haven't played that game. Chrono Trigger. I don't know. We'll get there. We'll review it and we'll give it a fair score. I don't like putting my past in, but I mean, you can't help it. When you've played these games and loved these games for so long, it's really hard to, not have a little bit of bias in there. But in any case, that is our review for Donkey Kong Country. So now let's switch gears and talk about our Thrift Shop game. I think I got it around here somewhere. I don't think I put it. Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, well, it's
Petz, Cats 2.
With Z's.
Z's.
Petz, Cats 2. Z. No, this is a good game. It really isn't too bad.
It doesn't sound like it. The title wouldn't let you believe it, but it wasn't that bad.
I know that they can't spell pets or cats, and it has nothing to do with, whatever. It's not a bad game. It's for the Wii. It's a 2006, 2007-ish game.
I thought this game was gonna be like the Nintendogs and the cats, like how you were supposed to be raising these puppies.
The
and cats.
Nintendogs and Nintendcats are actually really good graphically. Like they tried really hard to make them look like cats and dogs. This game, not at all. Like they put very little effort into the graphics. Okay.
I loved the kiwi.
The kiwis
the
were
blue
cute.
kiwis.
But again, they were just like blobs. They weren't even really. They didn't have feathers. That's all I mean. I mean, graphically, it's not. You're not gonna play this game for the graphics. You're gonna play this game for somewhat of a storyline and a little bit of an adventure.
The characters, not so much, but the environment I thought was very Harvest Moon-y feeling.
Yeah, Harvest Moon or Animal Crossing. It's just this little adventure like what are they?
I think you got it. The adventure type games.
No, it's like a quest. Go find.
You get
this.
These tasks to. It's like a baby RPG.
A fetch game. I think that's what I'm looking for. Or you're just a gopher. You're just going and fetching all the a bunch of fetch quests, and that's pretty much it.
You're just an errand cat.
And there is pretty much a fairly hardcore storyline to it. I mean, you're this little cat that...
There was too much dialogue, almost.
There was a lot of dialogue, especially if we're just playing for an hour, and we have no choice but to play the adventure story mode. So, we tried playing the minigame, and the minigame was fun, but not more than once.
Yeah, it was just
after you play once, it's like, oh, well, this is fun, but whatever. But yeah, the story mode, you kind of briefly to go over the story. You're this cat. Your cat's family owns this magic hat,
and that hat was amazing.
It was amazing. It was all blue with like lightning bolts and clouds on it.
Rainbows.
It was awesome. So, you meet up with your friend, and your friend wants to go see this bad wolf that got put into prison. Or the jail, the local jail, which, by the way, you're in this, like, cat village island, and it's nothing but cats and a zoo. Which has practically all the other animals. So, anyway, you go to this big bad wolf, and he tricks you. He tricks you into giving him the magic hat, and once he gets the magic hat, he breaks out of jail, and he destroys the village, and he releases all the animals, and you're left to blame because you gave him the hat. And it's really meant for kids, obviously. I really didn't have any problems playing it. I could see where an adult would sit down with their kids and play this game. It's fun, it's cute, it's fairly entertaining,
easy peasy.
Yeah, it's an easy play,
although trying to find the pier was a little
Yeah, we did have a little bit of problems with navigation.
But we were also skipping through a lot of the dialogue.
Yeah,
so.
we were. I really just wanted to play the game. I didn't want to have to sit and read every line of that.
But maybe if you paid attention, like we didn't.
Yeah, it really wasn't a bad game. It was fun. It was entertaining. I could see it. Again, little kids would love it.
Oh, yeah.
It's cats. How could you go wrong?
I understand why they made the second one.
Yeah, I like to know what the first one's all about. Again, it is a thrift shop game. I don't have the price tag on it for whatever reason.
Something $99.
It was gone. It was probably $1.99 or $2.99. And again, when you go to these thrift shops, it's a hit or miss. You might get a gem, you might get a pile of garbage like Mary Kate and Ashley.
Woo!
So,
Sweet 16.
Yeah, that's our mini review for Thrift Shop Game Petz Cats 2.
Petz.
If you want to check it out, you can go to our website at www.zapnight.com and you can check out our YouTube channel where you can find our gameplay of it and get our first reactions live-ish. We also have a Twitch channel. We have Facebook. We have Twitter. We have Google Plus. We have Instagram. So you can find everything at zapnight.com and check it out. Let us know what you think. Send us an email. I'd love to hear from you if you're out there listening.
Bless your hearts.
I'm playing live right now. I'm playing Final Fantasy 1. If you can bear to sit through Final Fantasy 1, come and watch it with me. You can chit chat and just hang out. That's what makes that fun. I love hanging out with other people that love the games that we are also loving. Like Final Fantasy. I love Final Fantasy.
Check us out.
Thanks for watching, and we will catch you guys later.